I'm sure many of you have heard the story of Paul Bunyan. I should say the true stories of Paul Bunyan and his blue ox. Well, this is a similar story, but it's about a billy goat named Bob. Bob was the meanest goat I ever knew or ever saw. I visited a lot of farms and used to go to the auctions where they sold cattle and goats and stuff. And my brothers and I we thought we were pretty tough anyway. But all of us were afraid of the billy goat named Bob. Actually, it wasn't so bad when he was younger, but the older he got, the bigger he got, and the bigger he got, the meaner he got. Anyway, we went out to the corrals one day. This is after he was big enough we were all afraid of him. We had to go out to do our chores to feed the cattle and milk the goats and do all the kind of stuff you do when you live on a farm. And when we got to the corrals, for some reason a gate had been left open or something, but Bob had gotten into the corrals, which means we couldn't do our chores. But we were also kind of afraid of my dad, and we knew we'd get in trouble if we didn't do the chores, so we decided to try to come up with a plan. And I am the one who came up with the bright idea of that I was going to hide behind this fence and throw a stick at Bob. And when Bob started chasing me, he would have to run out the gate, and when he ran outside the gate to chase me, then my brothers would close the gate and lock it so that Bob couldn't get back in, and then we could do our chores. And I had it all figured out. I figured out how fast, that I'm a pretty fast runner, and Bob was like 20 feet away from me, I think, maybe 30. And I thought, well, and he's not even looking at me. So if I throw this stick at him and I take off running, and there was a wood rail fence about 20 or 30 feet on the other side of me. And I thought, I'm pretty sure I can make it to that fence and jump over it before Bob can get to me. And I thought, but just to make sure, I'm not going to wait around to find out. I'm just going to throw this stick and then take off running before I even see if Bob's chasing me or not. So I don't even know if I hit the goat or if I missed it or what. I just threw the stick and turned around and took off running as fast as I could, headed for that rail fence. As soon as I got to the fence, I put my hand up on the top rail. It was probably about 3.5 feet off the ground maybe, and was just going to do a little hop jump over the rail. And just as I started to make my jump, I felt the two horns of Bob in my rear end. And his horns are actually kind of curved, so they wouldn't poke in you. They just more kind of butt up against you and lift you up. And anyway, I found myself flying over the top of that rail fence with the help of Bob. And that's just one of our stories about Bob. He continued to always do things to antagonize us, and we were still afraid of him. And until one day we were riding out across the field in the back of the truck. My brothers and I were in the back of the pickup truck, and my dad was driving, and he told us to get out of the truck, and I can't remember what he wanted us to do, go pick up something or do something. And the problem was Bob was over where he wanted us to go do something. And we were afraid of my dad, like I said, but we were more afraid of Bob. And so it's probably the only time in my life I can remember that we told my dad no, that we wouldn't do something. And we said, no way, we're going over there, not with Bob over there. And my dad gave kind of a chuckle and thought it was funny, and he said, let me show you how to take care of that goat. So he got out of the cab of the truck and he reached into the back of the pickup truck and picked up a 2x4. And he walked over there he was going to show us how you take care of a mean goat. And he took that 2x4 and smacked Bob right across the forehead with it. And about 3 seconds later, my dad comes running back to the truck, jumps in the back of the truck with us, and all of us are laughing our heads off. And the funniest part of all, or the best part of all, was A few days after that, my dad decided to sell that goat. I guess he decided, like us, that that goat was just a little bit too mean. And that's the end of story 1.